Hi friends, this is a product I'm excited to share with you, and that's because this is a product that's gonna save you both time and money. It is from the company Loewe. It is their Candy Lay tubing. So this is a roll of 948 feet of it. The tubing itself is 2 inches in diameter, okay? And again, it's 948 feet. If you're not sure what Candy Lays are, I want you to picture a recent graduate. Perhaps you have somebody in your own family who's a graduate, whether it's from preschool or from high school or from college, or perhaps you've seen graduates on the cover of magazines or newspapers or even in social media. A lot of them today not only wear the flower lays, but they also wear candy lays. And I have had a lot of people always ask me, how'd you make that? In the past, in years past, I had YouTubed, right? I'd gone on the internet and I had looked up how do I make candy lays, followed all of their instructions, went out, bought rolls of cellophane, bought the spools of ribbon, and got my candy and everything that I was gonna put in it. Then the trouble with making it with cellophane in the years past was that it was really super frustrating. And if you've ever worked with cellophane, it's very difficult to use without tearing. It's very, very fragile and it tears. And then of course, trying to cut it in a straight line is next to impossible as well. So in the past, when I made candy lays in the past, I would have to unroll the rolls of cellophane. Then I would need to cut it, right? Try to cut it without tearing it. Try to cut it with making it in a straight line. Then I'd have to go get my elastics, and I'd have my clear elastics and my ribbon. Lay out all of my candy where it needed to be. Then you would fold the cellophane over onto itself. And then you would put on the candy. Then you would fold it over again and then fold it over again until the whole thing was folded over. And then you would have to hope that none of the candy inside would slip out of place while you then took elastics and then ribbon to keep them in the right place, right? I'm telling you, it was very complicated, very difficult to do. So that said, I told myself this year, I have another graduate this year, and I was like, there's got to be an easier way. I look at all of these candy lays that you can buy from stores, and I'm like, there's got to be an easier way. Those things are not made with cellophane. Those things are made with like plastic, right? And it's not plastic like rolled onto itself. And so sure enough, I looked it up, and what would you know? Loewe has this big, huge roll of 948 feet of 2-inch candy lay tubing. And it's amazing. It looks like this. If I were to go ahead and unroll it, basically, right? I'm gonna just unroll it. And I'm gonna unroll, I'm gonna cut off however much I need, right? And that's the thing that it really depends on who you're making this lay for. It can be for, like I said, your high school graduate, your college graduate. It could be for a birthday celebration. It could be for younger children, kindergarten, preschool graduations. There's reasons to gift and give lays for essentially everything, right? You could give a lay just as like as a gift for a winner. But basically what you'll do is you'll take the candy tubing, one end, and you're just gonna make sure that you like measure it out. So have somebody, whether it's the actual person receiving it or somebody similar in size, right? Maybe just use yourself, but you're gonna go ahead and measure it. So it depends also where you want the lay to fall. If you want it extra long, that's fine, make an extra long one. If you want it to be shorter, then shorten it up, right? You do need to remember when you cut it, that sometimes the candy tubing, like the candy tubing itself will start to, like, you might cut it extra long and think, wow, that's gonna be a really long lay, only to finish and realize, oh, that wasn't as long as I thought it would be. And that's because as you continue to insert like different items or candy or items in the candy tubing, it kind of like shortens up, right? So just keep that in mind. But it's cute too. I don't know if you've ever seen that when graduates, people wearing lays and stuff, candy lays, when they have the various sizes. So you could do that where you kind of like stack them on top of each other. So for right now, I'm just gonna like show you. For right now, I would cut it like right here, right? So I'm gonna show you what I've already done. This package of candy tubing, it also comes with the necessary ribbon If you don't like this ribbon, that's fine. You can use actual like fabric ribbon, satin ribbon, whatever you want. You can use twine if that's what you're wanting to use. Taffia, you can use that as well. But I like that it came with these 3 different sparkly colors. My son's graduation is coming up. These are his blue and white is his school color, so I'll be using a lot of the blue. And this is actually many, many yards. I think it's 30 yards of, I could be wrong. So it's a lot. It's a lot for each color though. So you'll have plenty. And then in addition to that, this came with a pair of little compact scissors so that I can cut the ribbon and the candy tubing. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you what I started. So the thing with candy lays, it doesn't have to just be candy. You can put in, like, if your son really likes his electrolytes or he likes his drink mixes, right? These are the individual serving of drink mixes that my son happens to like. So I went ahead and I'm gonna make him like I'm gonna make him a bunch of these, okay? So that, again, we can stack them on top of each other. It's gonna be super fun. But basically what I did here is I had pre-cut it to the right size I wanted, super long, right? And then I could have just wrapped a ribbon at the end. I just actually tied it upon itself. So this is gonna be my very end. I slid in my drink mix, or you can slide in your tubing, or not your tubing, but your candy of choice. You could slide in you could put in gift cards, you can put in money, you can put in coins, you can put in chapsticks, lipsticks, you can put in, like, it goes on. If you have daughters, you can put in rings, you can put in bracelets. If you've got little kids that are graduating, you can put in a bunch of like little knickknacks. You can put in like toys. You can put in, I don't know, erasers. It goes on and on and on. You can put in like little starbursts and make, tie each one off individually. It will take a little bit more time as you tie it, but trust me, it's super easy to do. So I just inserted the drink mix right here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut a piece of my ribbon. And this is what I will suggest with the ribbon, is that you cut a whole bunch of it in advance, all the same size, so that you can just kind of like assemble these super duper fast. But let me tell you, this candy tubing has made everything so much simpler. It's so much faster. I'm telling you, the way that I did it in the past couple years with my other graduates, with this cellophane, it was so frustrating. It took hours upon hours. I tore so many pieces of cellophane. I had candy dropping out of the lei. This stuff, it's not gonna go anywhere, no matter, how much is pulled and stuff. Basically, so I'm gonna continue to do this, add what I need until I get to the very end. Once I get to the very end, make sure that you leave just enough so that once you're at the end, you can tie the 2 together. And then voila, you've got your candy lei, or your jewelry lei, or your gift card lei. The possibilities are endless, but like I said, this is fantastic. You can, of course, always buy candy leis from other vendors, from the stores, but the problem with that is sometimes they're not personalized, right? It's not necessarily gonna be your student's favorite candy. I mean, I could add my son's favorite candy bars to this and slide them in, and then he has his favorite candy bars. He doesn't have like the yucky generic kind that some vendor thought, I'm gonna make some money off of this and make a whole bunch of these. And anyways, yeah, so you can either buy the generic vendor ones that they sell along the side of the road at graduations and pay a lot of money for it, or you can make your own personalized one. I love, again, that Loewe. They're thinking of us. They're making things easy. They have given us already the capability of making our own candy leis. This is something, again, you're gonna think to yourself, there's no way I need 948 feet of it, but I'm telling you, this is gonna last you for a while, and you're gonna get so many people that love, over the years, their candy leis that they get from you. So keep this in your craft room, keep this in your stockpile of ribbon stuff that you make, right? Wherever your craft corner is in your home, you're gonna love it. Thanks, Loewe.